that blue point?
It is that blue point, yeah.
Alright, so there is a thing called snapping in drive-time algorithms.
Okay.
So if it's not 100% an address on the street, it will snap to the closest street feature. So something maybe happened that it actually snapped to the turnpike and ran the drive time straight from the beam on the turnpike rather than on that local street.
There's no entrance to the turnpike there.
Doesn't matter if it's putting the point straight on the turnpike, it doesn't have to be on the turnpike.
Okay, I got you.
And this is, sorry for the interruption, but this is, you should run this as a test. Go back to that one overview. If you move that point straight here, it will snap the street here.
Okay.
It will start the drive time going this way, and going this way, and then sometime going on the turnpike. If you place it right on the turnpike, like it's a parked car, to get to this point, it's not 500 feet. It's actually going up here and going down here. So, wonderful, nice work. Just for the fun of it, since you pointed out there was a discrepancy, move this one straight on here on the intersection. Because for 20-minute drive time, it doesn't matter if it's driveway or intersection. But then you're really bound to that local street, not to the regional street network. That is the reason why a lot of routing issues are troublesome, because they don't snap the right way.
Okay. So, so this is one of the issues, right? So with the subject, this is the new road right here, okay? So it's saying that, hey, look, 5 minutes you can drive in this neighborhood. Well, if you actually took the new road, this is country estates. It has a boundary of 95 in the turnpike. There is a canal that runs all the way here. So this is the only way in and out of this entire community, which that's why they built this new road for access. It's kind of the same thing here. It's saying that it takes 5 minutes to drive up here, that's crazy, which this happens to be the entrance to the entire Abacoa development, which, by the way, Coulter's building like 1,300 homes in their new master plan community. So now running the infographics. So I ran two, one on the 5 mile and one on the 10. This is the 10 mile. And really what jumps out at me here is the employment numbers. So this being the 10, it jumps significantly when you hit the 5 mile. I mean, it jumps from 77 or 67 to 72, which in employment numbers, that's a pretty good jump. I ran census profile, of course, by population to find out what was going on. And I also did a housing summary to determine, if it's a lot of renters, do they own the home? What I found was pretty interesting was housing units without a mortgage. I mean, 40% of the houses there don't even have a mortgage, they're all paid for in cash. So now, here I did a median income where I clicked the radius, have plotted the points of the competitors. Here's the subject in the middle, of course, and then what we're going to see now is you're going to see the colors change. So that's because this is the 2016, and then we're forecasting to the 2021. So in 5 years, we are, you can see, as it gets redder, the legends over here, the darker the colors, the higher the income. So you can see most of the surrounding area is getting a little darker, which is a better trend than it getting lighter, right? And if you don't know what GIS is by now, here it is. Any questions?
What would you do different with next time?
I would probably use desktop, only because we have a little bit of knowledge in desktop. This was having to learn online, which is crazy. I mean, I couldn't figure out, once I got places and did things and was like, I don't want to do this, like I couldn't just hit backwards, right, and clear the screen and start over. Like, that was probably the most frustrating part of it. And then sharing back and forth and then finding out where you shared. I mean, there was definitely a huge learning curve
Right?
Yeah,
And there are
online.
3 different animals from the same herd. So gotta find it. I think what you see with these projects is depending on the data availability and the complexity of your project, the online world will make you happy, particularly if you deal with data from today and maybe 2021 predictions. But in your case, if you want to go archive data, old data, you're better off to run your own data management and do your own thing. That somewhat puts you into the desktop world. That's my personal view. Learning component for me is next class needs to have more online time spent for you guys, those students, to balance this out. But we'll see how I'm going to do that. All right. Thank you very much. Questions from the team? Anyone? All right. Thank you, Chief. Daniel.
I'm just setting up here for my, so I
There's
don't
a
put my data.
I want to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright, for my project, I did what I want to do, given the skill set and the training that I have received for this class. I wanted to do some sort of market analysis for the city of West Palm Beach, where I live in. Knowing the city for the years that I've been here, from my extended family, my immediate family, just being knowledgeable of the area, I've always seen vacant lots within the city of the downtown area. So it kind of piqued my interest as to why that is, why there isn't demand to build on those lots, especially considering now that there are new modes of transportation which will be implemented within the next year or so with the final completion of the first phase of the new Bright Line. So what I wanted to do with my scope of the project was to utilize these GIS tool set to identify parcels within West Palm Beach where it is possible to develop a multi-family property on these vacant lots given some of these parameters. One that is between 1/4 mile and 3/4 of a mile from the study area to the new point of the West Palm Beach train station at Bright Line, as shown on the map here. Utilizing ArcGIS desktop, where I digitize supposedly what the new station would look like, given that there are no digitized versions of it, without asking Brightline themselves, but that's my fault for not asking them, and who knows, they probably wouldn't do anything. So, given some of the areas that I do know, some of the vacant lots, the ones that are circled here in yellow, actually should be more turn lines then. Anyways, those that are highlighted in yellow are lots that are currently under construction. The one over here is 214 South Rosemary Avenue, which is actually owned by Oliver, Florida, the same company behind Brightline, developing 200 plus units for that building, including a parking garage to carry all the passengers will be going through West Palm Beach for the train station. And then also another 200 plus units over here for Broadstone City. And then down here along 3rd Street, 333, you have another 200 unit rental apartment building. This is 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. But given that, there are still 3 vacant lots within a quarter mile of the area along the Torres Street and South Dixie Highway. Then also up along Clamana Street, you have 2 vacant lots as well. So given that, I want to utilize ArcGIS desktop to figure out what the features are that I need to utilize. But given that, the difficulty I've had is my experience with it. So, in order to identify the study area, what I did, as I mentioned, was to utilize a 0.25 to 0.75 walking distance from the train station and incorporate that as a shapefile into my base map or into my overall setup. And as I mentioned before, with the area, what I want to utilize are some of the data packets. So I was going to utilize land use, zoning, parcels, census blocks, which are all provided by the Palm Beach County. What, as I mentioned before, as I have a difficulty was trying to identify the features needed to intersect or link the relevant geodatabases and shapefiles. So with the parcel, where it would contain the market value for the parcels, I would have to connect that with the property database or database. And then what I also wanted to do was to color code each of the occupied blocks or properties to identify which ones are vacant lots, currently residential, commercial, or other uses, just for visual appeal. And as I mentioned before, export the walking time onto the desktop or ArcGIS online, whichever is more easier for me to deal with. And I also have I pulled some of the relevant demographics and reports from business analysts online, and I found some relevant information which will help me provide my market analysis and more or less what the capture analysis would be. So some of the given values, for example, within the 0.25 walking distance from the train station, the median the median household income is just over $49,000. Not listed, actually on the next slide is. So 49,000, which is pretty decent because that would come based on a rent to income ratio would be just under between $1,300 and $1,400 per month. To give a rough estimate, what the rental rates would be for like units. And to give like some of the breakdowns, this really intrigued me for West Palm Beach was it. Okay, it's in another. Yeah, in the ACS housing summary, which is not listed here, but I'll mention it anyways. There's a breakdown of the age groups for renter households, and the age group between 25 and 34, the households consisted of 25% of the household population within 25-mile radius, which would help kind of break down what the market segmentation would be for that area to kind of understand what the appeal for that demographic is. And why I also want to do this was because with the implementation of this new Bright Line Express rail, it's going to give also a comparison of different markets between West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale in terms of housing, since now the residents can now commute between the cities depending where they live for work or for other recreational activities. And given that the average asking rent for apartments in Fort Lauderdale is just under $1,800 per month, given the median household income of $61,000. So that would definitely give an appeal for those who currently reside or are looking between the two cities. And that would give a boost to West Palm Beach as a potential or ideal location for residing in the city. And that's what I have. Unless you have any questions?
A few.
Okay.
So similar to Noah, you said, okay, you're looking into multifamily property, if that is developable material. And you're doing this very nicely, somewhat in-depth data breakdown on, like, really you build up knowledge on your reports, yeah? More than expected actually for the level of this presentation. But I think what you have not answered yet, why is rail attractive and who would use it? Is it because there's some of the association there with transit-oriented design, that if you put residential use next to it or on top of it, that this is going to be the hip neighborhood. So you also could argue then, if you compare what's already in that neighborhood, like walking distance, etc.
Yep.
Well, that's already there. If you live 2 blocks down from the proposed new station, you're not going to buy that condo on top of the station. Why would you move 3 blocks? So there might be a thought that you need to say, okay, market comparisons is a good thing, but break down who is the customer of a TOD proximity real estate product, and where are those right now, and why would they move? So that's an unclear line of thought I didn't find at all.
Well, I can give some details that I do know in terms of why it might be appealing to some customers. One, I know that the average commuter time between in the area of Fort Lauderdale is roughly 27.5 minutes. It's the average commute time. So I know but this is an anecdotal experience, that for me, living in West Palm Beach, it takes on average 55 minutes to get from West Palm Beach to here. So if there were to be an express route, without dealing with the hassle of driving in traffic, where it's a much more pleasant experience to deal with, and also knowing the environmental benefits of traveling in such a method, it is a more appealing way of traveling or commuting.
Alright.
This is really random here, but I was just at the Broward Next presentation, and they're now doing for developers, if within a 0.25 linear distance, mile distance, I want to say it's 500 square feet and under, or studio housing is now counted as half a unit rather than one, so you can essentially double up on multifamily.
You make micro units.
Nice.
It was
So,
just
micro.
I have a question on one slide. Can you go back to the
Sure.
one for slide?
which slide?
One, few more.
Or if there's
Go back.
5 bus stops within an hour.
I'm confused about that slide. Why do you have a bright line logo on that infographics? Big yellow square.
It was just an image that I put up on since the focus was with the train stations.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions, guys? All right, good. That concludes the students' presentations. Thank you. Take a minute break, stretch your legs. I will be here for a few more comments if you want.